Hi there, my name's Nikki Samuel and I own a company called sukayoga.co.uk. I'm an internet-based shop for purchasing Manduka and Sun Salutation yoga products, and I'm here today to talk to you about the infamous Manduka Black Mat Pro, which is this mat here, and its baby brother, the Manduka Pro Lite yoga mat. So lots of people have probably heard about this mat, the Black Mat Pro. It was designed by a yoga teacher for yoga teachers and is synonymous with a professional teaching yoga mat. But I believe that everybody deserves to practice on a fantastic yoga mat. It's the reason why I only sell Manduka and Sun Salutation, because I believe that even as a beginner you should buy a decent yoga mat to help your practice. So what I'd like to do today is to go through the differences between the Black Mat Pro and its baby brother, the Pro Lite. So when you first look at the two mats, you can see straight away that they're different widths. So the Manduka Pro Lite is a standard studio yoga mat width. This is the width that you're practicing on when you go to your yoga class. It is 61 centimetres as opposed to 66 centimetres on the Black Mat Pro. Why the difference in the width? Well, as a professional yoga mat, it gives you more space, obviously. If you're a broad guy and you need some more space for your hands so that you're not always coming off your mat when you're in down dog, then this is a fantastic mat. But for anybody, I believe it is nice to have that little bit extra space. And believe me, 5 centimetres does make a big difference on the mat. The second thing about the two mats is their weight. Because this is a narrower mat, it saves quite a lot on the weight. The Black Mat Pro is 3.4 kilos and the Pro Lite is 1.8 kilos. This makes it much easier taking it to class, particularly if you're on the tube or a bus going to your yoga class after work. If all you've got to do is grab your mat out of the back of your car, then I don't really believe that there's any issue with taking a heavier mat like the Black Mat Pro into your class. But if you have got to travel or you've got to sling it in your yoga bag on your back when you're cycling, for example, I would definitely recommend the Pro Lite. The other difference between the two mats is the thickness of the mat. The Manduka Black Mat Pro is 6 millimetres, thick, and the Pro Lite is 4.5 millimetres thick. This does make a slight difference when you're practicing on the mat, but I don't believe it compromises the mat at all. If you have a problem with your joints, particularly your knee joints, I would recommend the Black Mat Pro because it has got that extra cushioning. If you take a look at the mat, you will see that there is very little resistance when you press down on the mat, which gives it a reputation for being quite a hard mat. But it defies this when you're actually kneeling on it. This is the thing that makes the Black Mat Pro and the Pro Lite such good mats to cushion your joints, particularly your knee joints, when you're in kneeling positions. It really does help to keep your joints safe while you're practicing your yoga. The other thing that we need to talk about with these two mats is the surface of the mat. On first glancing at it, you would think that the surface of the mat would be fairly slippery. It has two sides. One side has dots, which is the side that goes on the floor, and the other side has a sort of woven texture to it. Now, I don't believe that there is any mat on the planet that isn't slippery at some point. Our hands slip, our hands can change due to hormones or how we're feeling on a day-to-day basis, due to the atmosphere and the temperature around us. So I don't believe that there is any mat that is completely slip-free. But the Pro mats actually are pretty darn good. Here at Suka Yoga we often go to the yoga show and we get an opportunity to show people firsthand our mats. We invite people to come and practice down dog on the Black Mat Pro. And I can tell you that as soon as they feel the texture of the mat, I've sold the mat basically. It has a good solid base for your hands and your feet. And I would suggest that if anybody has problems with slippy hands and feet, that they try one of these mats, maybe along with a Manduka Equitowel, which I will talk about on another day. So there you have it. They're the main differences between the two mats. The other thing that I would just like to talk about, and that I do think is very important, is when you first get your mat, they have a very slight film that has been left on the mat during the manufacturing process, which needs to wear away. Now this will wear away gradually on its own, but if you want to speed the process up, you can take some rock salt and a damp cloth and give the mats a good scrub. This can be particularly where your feet and your hands are going to be, rather than having to worry about necessarily the texture in the middle, because you're not going to need it to be so grippy there. The other alternative, and a product that we sell here at Suka Yoga, is the Manduka Mat Renew Mat Cleaner. If you spray this all over your pro mat, leave it to settle for about 5 minutes, and then give it a good wipe down. This should also help to shift the manufacturer's film. As I've said before, this comes away during general practice anyway, but if you want to speed the process up because you're not somebody who practices 5 days a week or 7 days a week, and you're only taking it to class 1 or 2 days a week, you may want to speed this process up by giving it a good old rub. The other thing that I would also like to quickly say about keeping your mat clean is the importance of it. These mats do not absorb dirt and sweat, so therefore as a yoga mat they do not smell. The dirt and sweat sits on the surface of the yoga mat, so it is important to clean them, otherwise they will become slippery just because of the debris on top of the mat. So I feel that you're spending quite a bit of money investing in a good yoga mat. You should also invest in a good yoga mat cleaner. So I hope that you've enjoyed my presentation. Please come and visit us at sukayoga.co.uk. If you have any questions at all, drop me an email, Nikki, N-I-C-K-Y, @sukayoga.co.uk. I've enjoyed talking to you. Bye bye for now.